Testimony today poking holes in the defense of Brooks Houck, an ex-girlfriend of Steve Lawson, taking the stand and saying she heard the Lawsons talking about moving a body on the Houck family farm. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. Houck and Lawson are accused in the murder case of Crystal Rogers. And here are 3 takeaways you need to know from the courtroom this morning. We want to tell you that ending the testimony yesterday was Danny Singleton. He was questioned to back up the prosecution's claims that Rosemary Houck was planning the murder. He admitted to talking to Rosemary weeks prior to Rogers' disappearance. He said she was looking for someone to, quote, get rid of Rogers.
Then more testimony blowing apart Houck's statements to police. Heather Snelling, Steve Lawson's ex-girlfriend, taking the stand. We pick up on that with our team coverage and Shay McAllister in Bowling Green. And Shay, what Snelling said today really has people talking. Why was her testimony so compelling?
Well, there's a couple of things she said that really got everyone's attention, Doug and Connie, but it was that major statement about what she overheard between Steve and Joseph Lawson. I want to explain a little bit more about who she is. Heather Snelling is Steve Lawson's ex-girlfriend. They dated previous to Crystal going missing, and then they reconnected a couple of years later. They were doing drugs together. Joseph Lawson was selling those drugs. That's how they were reconnecting. But today she told police that on the stand, she told police that she had been sitting in Steve Lawson's basement when she overheard Steve and Joseph saying that they moved a body at the Houck farm using a skid steer. As you can imagine, that was incredibly hard for Crystal's family to hear. That's one of those details they knew was going to be difficult coming into this week, and it certainly was. They were passing around tissue boxes. They were comforting each other. We actually took a break, a recess from court right after that statement, and there was a lot of tears in this hallway. I do want to say eventually Heather herself was in tears on the stand because when Brian Butler, Houck's attorney, got up to cross-examine her, he wanted to talk more in detail about the police interview that led to that statement. He pointed out the fact that she did not mention that for several years. It wasn't until a more recent police interview, 4 years into that interview, that she brought up that exact statement that was said. Yeah. And Brian Butler, had that led to that.
And Shay, cell phone forensics have played an important role in this case. What did you learn about Brooks' phone records today?
Well, Brooks Houck had provided a very long written statement about exactly what he says that he did on July 3rd. It included him going to multiple different places. It included him talking to multiple different people. Today, the forensic phone records that he was able to share, that the LMPD digital investigator shared, said that he was at the Houck family farm for the entire day.
Here, one more question for you here, Shay. The jury will now be going home for the weekend, but they're not sequestered. So interesting. What does that mean? Will the judge be giving them home, sending them home with strict rules?
Exactly, Doug. The judge did have some strict rules for them. The judge was asking that they specifically do not watch any news coverage on this. They don't click on social media articles. They don't talk to their friends or family about it. They don't talk to each other about it. That really they carry on with their lives, trying not to see anything about this case. And that's a pretty tall task when you think about this case and how it really has captured the attention of the state. Doug, Connie.
Right, Shay, thank you so much for today's coverage, and we'll continue to bring you all the latest updates on the trial through the free WHS11 Plus app. Reporter Alex Goldberg will be live daily at 1 p.m. with a midday update on the trial. Then legal analyst Nick Mudd joins us at 5:30 every day throughout the trial and nightly at 9 o'clock to break down key moments. Download the WHS11 Plus app on your TV and watch for free.
Meteorologist Mallory Schnell is out in it right now, and she is tracking the heat index all around her here at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been out at the picnic all day today, Mallory, and I noticed there was a little bit of a breeze behind you a few minutes ago when you were on. So is it feeling a little bit better out there?
The air is moving, which definitely helps when it's this hot and humid. Yes, I think we're getting some outflow breeze. We have some showers that are popping up on the southwest side of town. Of course, we are here in the Hikes Point area at St. Martha on Klondike Lane. But this was my favorite game to play at church picnics when I was a kid. I always thought there was some kind of strategy to kerplunk. So we'll see. I'm just going to kind of play them. Nope, that one was not a winner. Let's see. Can I? Oh, no. Okay. How about this one? The anticipation. Oh, okay, well, 0 for 3. We'll try again later. But fun is being had out here, even with the heat and humidity. We can take a look at those temperatures across the Kentucky and high earlier. We have some 70s down in south central Kentucky where there's been a bit more rain around today, more of those 90s to the north. The feel-like temperatures, of course, they are still elevated in the 90s. The triple digits, especially for those drier spots, Mitchell, Seymour, Scottsburg, dealing with those triple-digit heat indices. And because of that, we still have that heat advisory until 8 p.m. Now, our satellite and radar, as I mentioned before, a lot of the storms this afternoon concentrated more so in south central Kentucky, some heavy downpours there, and now into eastern Kentucky. We do have one shower that's been on the southwest side of town around Valley Station and PRP, but that looks like it's starting to fizzle. So we might get a little bit of light rain here, but hopefully just kind of the breeze from that outflow. Otherwise, expect, of course, the warmth and humidity out there this evening with overnight lows in the 70s. Now, we do have more storm chances ahead for the weekend. A break in the humidity by next week. We'll be talking much more about that 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. I'll send things back to you two.
All right. Thank you so much, Mallory. 3 juveniles have been arrested, and police say 2 of those teens are accused of robbing a gun store in Louisville. On Wednesday, LMPD searched a home on Barfield Road. The parents of the suspects helped police find clothes worn by the teens in an alleged burglary. LMPD also found a handgun stolen from a gun shop. The suspects' parents were seen using the air traffic unit picking up the kids, and they were stopped, and both juveniles were arrested. Sergeant Joe Keeling says this is concerning among their cases right now.
Juveniles are committing the majority of the crimes that we're dealing with. It probably does have a lot to do with it being summertime and school being out and them having a lot of free time on their hands. Yes, it's just the continued trend of juveniles committing the crimes.
Believes these teens are responsible for up to 20 burglaries around the Louisville area. Right now, they are charged with 5, but he believes more charges are coming.
ATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, needs your help identifying the people who set fire to a strip mall in West Louisville. This is December of 2022 from our coverage. It took more than 70 firefighters to put out this blaze at Jefferson, West Jefferson and 18th Street. All the businesses, including a tax service and a barber, were destroyed. Today, the ATF released photographs showing 2 people right outside the strip mall before the fire, one wearing an orange hoodie, the other wearing a large backpack. If you have any information about this for ATF on this arson, they're offering right now a $10,000 reward, and you can call the Metro Police Anonymous Tip Line with your information at 574 LMPD.
The Louisville Metro Council approved just over $3 million in investments to the downtown in the latest city budget.
The mayor pretty much got a clean sweep last night from the Metro Council, most of it focusing now on Slugger Field for downtown, where downtown meets the Nulu neighborhood, hoping to connect the 2 major neighborhoods. Ian Hardwitt reports on a follow-up of the big vote where you'll see the changes.
The biggest share of Metro Council's downtown dollars, $2.5 million to be exact, will go here near Slugger Field. That pairs nicely with the apartment and retail complex slated for the parking lot over here by the stadium. It's the city's effort to cross-pollinate downtown with Nulu. The money goes towards improving sidewalks, lighting, and greenery. 1 block away at Bottle Shop and Tasting Room,
have a good one.
Bartender Raymond Rivas already sees baseball's benefit on bourbon sales.
What do you want to do after you've been sitting in the sun watching a baseball game? You want to sit down somewhere and, hang out and have a beer or 2 or, a nice pour. That's what we're here for.
And in nearby Nulu, where a 2-way Market Street conversion with a bike lane is ongoing, the council passed $250,000 to introduce yellow shirt community ambassadors seen in neighborhoods like Beachmont. In concert, it's all meant to encourage exploration and foot traffic.
Do you feel good, safe, intrigued, You know, if you do, then you're going to keep going.
Metro Councilman Ken Herndon represents downtown and surrounding neighborhoods. He mentioned $1 million more going to the Louisville Downtown Partnership nonprofit for beautification of the area around 4th Street. That's near the Palace and Brown Hotel.
If we get that streetscape redone, make it visually more attractive generally, then it'll be more enticing for businesses and other things to move into those underutilized storefronts.
Empty stores, he calls them missing teeth that need to be filled. For Rivas, the nearby changes could encourage a walk to Nulu.
As a family man myself, I want to be able to not just, you know, go and grab a beer. I want to have a nice place to walk with the family, the wife and kids. You know, anything you can do to improve the family life as well as the nightlife would be just as beneficial to everybody, in my opinion.
Foot traffic, he hopes, goes 2 ways, just like the street will. In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11 on your side.
And there's more from the budget. $100,000 goes towards an expansion of the Roots 101 African American Museum.
And another $150,000 funding a renovation of the 4-story theater at the Kentucky Science Center on West Main Street.